Okay, this is video 3 today. We're talking a little bit about tree climbing and servicing equipment. I learned all this stuff from my dad when I was a youngster, and I still remember most of it. I remember enough to be able to utilize it here at my place. You know, I still got a head on my shoulders for working in and around trees. I like working in trees, you know, but as you get older, it gets tougher, and you gotta work around stuff. And tree climbing equipment is also good for other things, like, you know, when you're working on your roof, right? If you're gonna, like, you know, put new shingles on your roof, or things like that, working up at heights. It's good to have knowledge of equipment like that. Now this is just an old sling, and I brought this out because it's got a water knot in it, and a water knot is very easy to tie. You should know this knot. Okay, I'm telling you that you should know this knot. This knot used to be used in rock climbing before they had sewn slings. So if you need to make a sling, whether it's for rock climbing or tree work or whatever, and you need it a certain size, a water knot can be your friend. So remember the water knot. It's very easy to learn how to tie. You know, basically you tie one side, and then you take the other side, and you're just going to follow the other one back through, and then you'll tighten it. And when you tighten it, you want to have something like a tree branch to where you can hang off of this, and you tighten it with your body weight to get it set. Okay, once it's set, you probably will never be able to untie it. So make sure it is the size of loop that you want, and so on. Okay, so that's the water knot. And of course, you could use that in a lot of other things too. Now I came out here with a variety of carabiners and stuff as well. We'll talk about those in a minute. And here's one of the modern climbing ropes that I have. Okay, now I've got this set up. I was using this over my roof. I had this set up. I think this is the one. No, this is not the one. I had this on another roof. I had this set up over the top of a roof. So I got this to protect. I got this on there. This is just a bunch of canvas, nylon canvas, that I rolled it up. This had been on a cot, so a cheap cot that started, you know, breaking or whatever, because I don't weigh 20 pounds. So anyway, makes a good cambium saver, right? But you wouldn't really want to use it for that. I just use this on a roof because this protects the rope from the shingles. Okay, so I was doing some re-shingling and repair on one side of one of my roofs out there, because I got a couple buildings out there in the back. Anyway, this rope is a tree climber's rope, and I do not recommend this bag. This is a Mountain Hardware rope bag, and it's crap. I've had this rope bag for a lot of years. I still use it because I'm going to use it until it can't be used anymore. It wears out, right? But it's not a good one. It's not a good design. I have another bag with my L.V.I rope here somewhere, and that's a outdoor research bag. That's a really good bag for ropes. My best rope goes in that bag, and that's my most high dollar bestest rope ever. So L.V.I. Stratos 11mm rope. That's a dynamic rope. It's treated, dry treated. It's a hardcore rope. You know, it can do edge falls and stuff. So why do I have that? That's a climbing rope, right? That's for like sport climbing, wall climbing, big wall climbing, all that stuff, right? Well, the thing is that all of your work ropes, like these industrial tree ropes, these are all static ropes. And although they're extremely strong, they're constructed differently. And they're not made to take any kind of a super hard jolt. It puts more stress on your body and whatever. And thing about this rope is the strength. Unlike a climbing rope, the strength part of the rope is on the outside. That's right. So the strength part of the rope is on the outside, not the inside. On a climbing rope, or say a tactical rappelling rope, those are Kernmantle ropes. And Kernmantle ropes are made with the strength member on the inside, and then it has a mantle of braided nylon or other Perlon or whatnot on the outside, right, to protect the strength member. But with these ropes, the strength member is the outside of the rope. Why they did that, I don't know. Maybe it's because they can actually see the strength member and see if it's got any damage to it. I don't know. But anyway, the thing is you gotta keep your ropes clean. Keep your ropes out of dirt and mud. Keep your ropes out of rock. Don't step on your ropes, things like that. Because this is your life, man. That's your life. You got to take care of your rope. Don't handle it with dirty chainsaw gloves or things like that. Okay? Try not to as much as you can. Anyway, this started out as a 200-foot rope, but I think I cut this one end off. I cut off a piece for something, and I don't remember what. I mean, it's a couple of 100 feet, so it's more than I've got a lot of rope here that I can work with. I have this rope. I have the mammoth rope from years ago that I got over in Europe. That's like a accessory rope now, just for like redirecting myself in trees and stuff. Not as a lifeline anymore. I mean, that thing's too old. It's probably got a lot of its strength left because they've done studies on that. You know, these ropes don't wear out so easy unless it's physical damage or chemical damage, right? So those are the things you got to be careful of. Anyway, this is a Samson Vortex Hot. Vortex Hot. And I got this from West Spur Tree. Some of the guys there are former loggers. It's up northwest. I think it might be in Washington. They sell a lot of good gear there, so you know that's something to consider. Alright, so this is a Petzl Spirit carabiner, right? Now I have this carabiner is solely in remembrance of a buddy of mine who loved these carabiners, but he's dead now. He loved them because they were so smooth and everything. Petzl, made in France. It's a Petzl Spirit on here. That's quite interesting because he is no longer with us, but he's with me in spirit, right? So anyway, this is the only one of these that I have, and I bought it just to prints of him. So that's not really high rated. Really, I mean, it's 23 kilonewtons with a side load of 10 kilonewtons. The gate, you know, so it's not really highly rated. But I use it on my climbing harness to, you know, clip stuff to it. You know, and I also like this, you know, to hang a hammer on or any kind of a thing like that, messing around the roof, whatnot. Okay, so this is not even a rated line. This is just for a tool. I use it for like tools and stuff. This is a big sucker, steel carabiner. They used to use these in search and rescue work. I don't think it's allowed anymore because you got to turn it to lock it. Now they have auto locks, but it still works great. And this is rated to 54 kilonewtons with a side rating of 13 kilonewtons. Has an open rating of 14 kilonewtons. Now, when you think about kilonewtons rather than just pounds, right? A body can only survive 12 kilonewtons of force in a fall. So, rated well above what you would survive. This is just an old working beaner. This is 25 kilonewtons. This is some kind of an industrial carabiner. And I don't use this for me personally. I generally will use that for extra stuff. Couple of extra rings, 70 kilonewtons, made of steel. Okay. Now these are good for all kinds of stuff. You can put those on your bridge if you've got a bridge on your harness. Yeah, I've done that before. This is another split tail. Okay, this split tail is old. This is an old New England split tail before Tuffelberger took over the company. So this one is 25 years old probably, this split tail. And I use that as an extra Blake's hitch connection. So just running around a tree or whatnot. Here's another industrial carabiner. This has a place where you would put a bar, a steel bar. You just take a hammer and you smack the bar through here, and there's a hole here to receive it. And it makes it so that this cannot get disoriented. Right? So these rings, I put these rings on these split tails. So this is the old split tail, the old New England split tail. Tuffelberger owns them now, and these are all 70 KN rated rings. But I just girth hitched them onto these split tails. These split tails are made so that you could put a Blake's hitch on a rope, and then you can just clip into it when you need to. Okay. So if you're, you want to move from one section of the tree to another, and you want to unclip from one rope and go to another rope and then go over to another section, or someplace up high on a work site, where you got a rope to tie into, right? Yeah. All fun stuff, right? Unfortunately, a lot of this stuff is for younger guys. The young guys, the young adventurous guys that want to get up in the trees and stuff like that. Yeah, you could do that. But I'm gonna move from Blake's hitch. I think I'm gonna go, like I said, I'm gonna go with that zigzag. The zigzag will make it easier for me to manipulate it up and down the rope. Yeah, it's about $300 though. But you gotta pay to play. Remember that. You gotta pay to play. And when it comes to life support equipment, you gotta try to get good stuff. Don't go for the bargain basement stuff or anything that's made in China. You know, don't do that. You even gotta watch, you know, name brand stuff anymore. Some of them, you know, getting stuff made over in China and Taiwan and whatnot. Hate to say it, but you gotta watch out. Gotta watch out. So, yeah. They don't make my harness no more. I don't ever see it displayed anywhere. It's, you know, too out of date for the modern crowd. But it's a dang good harness. Buckingham tree harness saddle. It's a ergovation or something. Yeah, ergovation. There, get some light here. There it is. Ergovation by Buckingham. Doggone good one. Comfortable. Hang around in the thing all day if you want. Somebody that works at the Forest Service checking on those sequoias would probably want something like that. Because you certainly are not going to get uncomfortable in it, that's for sure. See you later.